Did you ever fight growing up? You ever get in a fight?
There were literally fights in our neighborhood, Cubs versus Sox fights, because the north side is Cubs and south side is Sox. But I think the last fight I was in 7th grade, probably.
And?
I'm good at neutralizing the fight, like getting into wrestling ground tactics and then backing away. I don't have the killer instinct, but that was the last fight I got into.
Did you grow up in a big family?
Yeah, I'm one of 7.
Okay, so I'm one of 6, and that there's a survivalist feeling sometimes of, can you make somebody laugh at the table, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you get an idea of, okay, I have a sense of humor, or maybe I'm funny. I don't know how that helped you in what you do for a living now.
I have 3 older brothers, so I definitely think there was some evolutionary adaptation that humor allowed me to survive and have children, because I could have died inside that family. I had 3 older brothers, and I did get beat up a lot when, as a little kid. And then I think I did at some point. I discovered falling down or bouncing an apple off my head made my brothers distracted and laughed.
Instead of beating you up.
Yeah, instead of beating me up. And I truly think that's how I began to discover the power of getting focused when you want, or making people laugh so they don't hit you.
At what point do you have to say to your parents, I think I want to be an actor? Or comedian?
I think they had no faith in it ever working out. Truly, my dad loved it. He was kind of a closeted ham. He was a salesman, but loved to think of himself as a comedian. And they came and saw all the terrible shows I did. God bless them. But I think they would come to the apartments I had with 4 other guys and look at, 15 things plugged into one outlet and roaches. And they're like, isn't there another way to make a living? But I think they're very happy, obviously, now. But I think there was no direct course for comedy because I wasn't doing stand-up. I was doing improv. So I think they were scared for a while.
But what moment do they then say, you know what, my son, he's an actor?
You know what it was? The moments I remember were my first True Value hardware commercial.
Do you remember your line?
Oh, God, I wish I did. I think it's just I think I had to slip around and say, oh, this is a great store. I don't know. That's a bad commercial. Probably wasn't it. But anyways, my mom and dad got to see that, and they could tell their friends, or their friends could say, I saw your son on television, and that made it real that I was an actor.
How much did you make?
Probably decent. Probably $10,000 over the run of the commercial.
Oh.
Back in 1994, which was a lot of money for a starving actor.
But then you get into movies.
Yeah.
Does that change everything with how your family views you?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think they were happy. But, yeah, now more people know me, or they'll see me on this. They might catch me on this show, or a show where they're just happening to watch TV. So I think.
But what do they say when they see you on the streets now?
My family?
No, just yeah. Hopefully they say hi.
Why didn't you call us? Yeah. Why didn't you call us?
Yeah, now you're too important here. Oh, look at Mr.
How
Big
rude!
Hollywood. Yeah.
You come to Chicago and you're walking around the streets.
What do everyday people say to you?
Oh my God, Veep, mostly Veep.
Do they quote something from Veep?
They quote Mike. They say, "Oh my God, Mike McClintock, can I get a picture with you?" That would be the quickest recognition type thing. But what used to be The Hangover. Used to be, can you do your line from The Hangover?
And do you?
I don't do that. No.
Why?
I don't know. I kind of
Have you outgrown that?
Would you, if someone in an airport say, "Hey, welcome to the Dan Patrick Show," Dan, would you say that?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
If they stopped you?
Yes.
Don't you feel it cheapens what you do? Aren't you more than that line?
Not too much more. But I have people come up to me and go, "Hey, can you say En Fuego?" Or the whiff, or
and you do that.
But I get it, because it's the only time they see you.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, "Gosh, I hope I'm more than that," but now that I told you that, don't you feel really bad that you're
a more generous? You're a more generous, giving human being than I am. I don't know why. I just shied away from that. I'm happy to take a picture or sign something or do whatever. But I don't know, that one I just I don't really feel like saying the line, because it won't be as funny ultimately. You're recreating something that was maybe funny in the movie, but it won't be as funny anymore.
Well, it is weird for an audience of one. So if somebody says, "Hey, say that line," and then you say it, and then they go, and then you go,
they'll go, "Is that it?"
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel fun. No, that's the line. That's the line. Yeah.
The most fun you had on a set. Now these are big movies, though. Ted, The Hangover, Old School, The Do-Over. You got Ghostbusters, which I assume you've completed all of that. So the most fun you've had on a movie set.
I got to do a movie which will never be seen with Shirley MacLaine, Demi Moore. What's her name? She was married to Sam Shepard.
Jessica Lange?
Jessica Lange, Billy Connolly, and Howard Hessman in the Canary Islands 2 years ago. It's called Wild Oats. And I was like hanging out at the pool with like Demi Moore and like having brunch with Shirley MacLaine. And then we got free golf because somebody at the country club gave us free golf. So me and this other kid, Jay Hayden, that was on the movie, we played free golf, and we played it so much the pro was like, okay, that's enough.
You abused the privilege?
You've abused the I think they said to the producer, oh, come by, I'll hook the guys up. But we came like 6 days in a row, and he like saw us at the gate, basically, and he's like, it's not free anymore. And we're like, all right, we'll still play. But that was the most fun because we were in a foreign country, and these like legends of film were hanging out with us, and that was crazy, ridiculous fun.
Shirley MacLaine, a little crazy, though, isn't she?
She is a little nuts. Very sweet, but she firmly believes in, like, extraterrestrials and...
Like life after and...
I didn't get into that.
Oh, you didn't?
She's
Okay.
very sweet. Like, she's also into politics. Like, we talked whatever was going on in the news. Like, she's very dialed into relevant stuff as well. But
being on Veep, do people expect you to have strong political views outside of the show?
They do. Like, they always want to know your take on what's going on in the news. And I'm like, I don't know that much about politics. I do know a little bit, but I can't dissect it or predict trends in politics. No.
House of Cards has done a pretty good job of sort of predicting, like there's going to be something with ISIS, or you have a Trump-like character. Does Veep want to steer that way, or because
I think they stay. It's not like torn from the headlines.
Yes.
Like, there's no. One thing I say about Veep is there's no like. You'll never see like Wolf Blitzer pop up on our show. Like It's a pure fiction. They don't bump up against reality. The only reality that our show, like the most recent president we reference is Jimmy Carter. After that, it's all our fiction. Do you know what I mean? And I think they make an effort to do that. Obviously, they do research, and they like this year's about the Electoral College tie. So there's a lot of constitutional interviews with people, how it would go. And every year they make a big trip to D.C. to get like behind the scenes stories about politicians and how things work. But they don't really, Julia's she's not a real person. She's an amalgam of all these people, et cetera. So we don't.
But people look at her as Hillary.
Well, in the beginning, they thought she was
Right.
Sarah Palin. Like the first season, everybody's like, "Oh, you're Sarah Palin," and she wasn't. She was like sort of many characters.
Well, people can read in what they want to read,
Yeah.
whether they like you or not. Like, oh, you're making fun of, Sarah, or oh, you're trying to be Hillary.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
These guys may have a question or two because they said, "Can we ask you questions?" And I said, "Yes, if that's okay, Matt."
I don't like dealing with the help.
You don't? Okay.
Is that arrogant? Can you take the question and I'll
Yeah,
look
I
at
will.
you?
Paulie, if you would like to give me the question.
I know Matt won't do the line, but I love small roles where they're memorable, like the role in Hangover. I've used your line to people.
Get a map.
Get a map on the corner of F off.
Yeah.
But didn't he just talk about not wanting to
No,
do
I don't
this?
want to do it, but I want to
he
let
just-
him know that line is it's weird to have a role where you're in the movie for what, 4 minutes probably?
Probably, sure.
But the line is the kind of line dudes like us will drop on their friends on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
hey,
it's a very
how do I
memorable
get to
line.
the restaurant? It's on the corner of. And sure, I'll drop that line any day of the week.
Did you have any idea Hangover was going to be?
No, that
Crazy.
was like crazy. It was always funny, and that was a fun set for like the whatever day or two I was on there. But no, there's no way to know how successful a movie like that's going to be, because it's going to be good, but for it to like cross over and like everyone go see it, like guys, gals,
Yes.
young, old, yeah, very lucky.
But who was there's some crazy people on that set. Like Zach is
Zach,
crazy.
what was funny about that movie is like that scene we were shooting the day of Obama's first election. So we were like doing the scene, and then we were going to watch election results. So there was a lot going on. And then also there was an 85-year-old naked man in the room in the scene. And there was a lot of giggles going on that day. And there were many takes ruined, mostly by Zach, myself a couple. And that was a very like hard time not to laugh, because it's very strange to be around an older gentleman who's naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was a very nice man, but it's very, You would probably giggle yourself.
How, Pat, do the Bears make you cry?
I get nervously sad for the Bears. I don't know where we're headed, but I like the draft. The Cutler experiment is still going on.
Oh, it is?
I mean, we're going to have them this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It feels like the experiment's over, but
well,
you still
I think
have
we know the range that Jay Cutler has.
How's your morale? That's what I want to know.
My morale is cautiously optimistic. I'll say 9-7 this year.
9-7?
Yeah.
If all goes well,
But
10-6?
the Vikings and the Packers look so good, and Detroit again. So who
No,
knows?
Detroit won't be that good.
No, you're right. They'll combust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't make you cry.
No. I expect a certain amount of disappointment.
Would you rather that you won an acting award
or Super Bowl
or the Bears won a Super Bowl?
Bowl?
What if
Easy.
the Bears could win a division title or you win a Golden Globe?
Ooh. How about wild card berth and I get the Golden Globe?
Okay, but
We get a wild card
but
berth
you
and I get the Golden Globe.
You lose in dramatic fashion in the wild card,
Or
and you win the Golden Globe.
I would,
Jeffrey Tambor beat you for the Golden Globe.
so these are both. Well, so what's the upside of this one?
The nomination.
Oh, the nomination. Okay.
Yeah, it's all about the nomination.
I would rather win a wild card game than get a Golden Globe nomination.
What if it's
would.
winning the Golden Globe
Or
losing in the wild card?
I'll take the Golden Globe.
You will. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the Golden Globe. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I got to get one from somebody to give it to you. But you've earned it. You've earned it by being on this show. He's Matt Walsh, actor, comedian, and apparently watches this show when you're doing Veep.
And a lot of time in the car dropping the kids
Well,
off.
that's nice.
I catch you guys in the
We
car a lot.
appreciate that.
Yes.
So you can see Matt in Veep. That's Sunday nights at 10:30 Eastern. He's in Ghostbusters. He's in the Do-Over, the Adam Sandler movie, available on Netflix beginning next Friday. That's May 27th. Thank you for coming in, Matt.
Awesome.
Making time for us.
Thank you.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.